raising capital and taking on investors. Not understanding how to engage in investors has cost people their companies. If you're coming to me saying, I want to set up a company, but I want an investor, one of the very first things I'm going to ask you is, well, what is it that they're asking for? What is it that you're getting? What's the deal? If they're going to say, yeah, I'm going to help you with resources, I'm going to help you with a little bit of money, and I want 50% of the company, then you really have to sit and wonder whether or not that's a good deal for you. If they come to you and say, look, I want to just lend you money and you pay me back at a, 10% rate or something like that, that's not necessarily investor in the sense that that person will have ownership within your company. It's more of a loan. And you would structure a different type of contract for something like that than you would for taking on a partner. Taking on a partner is a big deal in businesses. I know that a lot of small businesses think, well, I know this person, I've worked with them forever. They're a friend or a family friend or a family themselves that you want to go into business with. And that might be all and well and fine. But remember, like, you have business is business. So if you're going to take on family members or friends or people who are close to you, who are so close that they're like family and you trust them, still treat it like a business. So raising capital, you have to think about, if I'm structuring my company in a certain way where I want to give away certain percentages in the future, you have to act accordingly. So for example, if you're issuing shares, and we're back to the shares again, if you're issuing shares, you may want to leave 10 or 20 shares within the company. You may want to leave 100 shares within the company. It depends on what you want to do, because you know that in the future, you want to issue it to someone else without diluting your own shares. Because if you go ahead and you give away everything, then when you bring on a partner, you have to change your ownership and the ownership of every other shareholder as well. Not the same for LLCs. LLCs, you do have that 100% pie and you do have to split it up. But again, when you're bringing in partners, then you change your percentages and you go forward. Not understanding what role an investor or potential business partner plays is so vital. I can't stress it enough. You will have to not only do contracts for the payment, for example, of the money that you're going to be getting as a capital, but you're probably going to have to do transfer of shares or membership interests. And also, more importantly, when you take the step from being a single member company or single owner to multiple owners, this is where I always say, get your corporate governance document, get your bylaws and get your operating agreement. So a mistake, huge mistake, that legal mistake that startup companies and entrepreneurs make is not thinking through of the raising of the capital in terms of just issuing in shares, and not thinking through the engagement of an investor. You definitely want to make sure that you're engaging an investor in the right way. And that if you have to talk about a partnership, if you have to talk about, well, I want to be in business with this person, but I'm not quite sure how to do it, please make sure that you sit and you figure out what's going to happen if it doesn't work. Because I think that that's also something people usually talk about, how are we going to split the money? When the money comes, how are we going to do this? And they talk about that all the time, but they never talk about, or they seldom talk about what's going to happen if this doesn't work out. What happens then? And to have those contingencies involved and then put it in writing and have everyone sign so that they understand. So again, engagement with investors, don't make the mistake of doing it the wrong way. Don't make the mistake of signing documents and then say, oh, well, I didn't know, right? Because that's probably 60% of my work is, oh, well, I don't know why I never sent this to you before. Yeah. I don't know why either. I can't help you there.
The content on Minding Your Business is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be construed as specific legal advice. This show discusses general legal issues affecting business owners. Opinions of the guests are not necessarily that of the show. If you need assistance with your specific legal issue, please consult with a licensed attorney.